I love CSGO as much as the next guy, but sadly it won't be existing for much longer. With how excited everyone is with CS2, I think it's very easy to forget that it's going to be completely replacing CSGO. Now, this isn't exactly a bad thing. All good things must come to an end, and it really wouldn't make sense for CSGO to stay existing when CS2 is out. But whether we like it or not, there will be some things we'll forget about it. So that's exactly why I decided to make this video about some forgotten updates of CSGO, and not the boring ones either. So sit back as I reminisce and let me know in the comments how many of these updates you forgot about, and maybe I can make it a series as well. Probably some of the coolest updates, but the easiest to forget about have to be the holiday updates. These range from Christmas updates, Halloween updates, and even Easter updates. I'll start with the Halloween updates, which are usually the coolest. The first ever Halloween update was all the way back in 2013, which really only gave the chickens some ghost costumes. Quite spooky. The next was a 2014 Halloween update, which is personally my favorite holiday update in all of CSGO. This one added masks to all the players. Some of the masks were from Payday 2, and some of the masks were from TF2, similar to when the spy disguises himself as the other classes. This update had my 12-year-old self freaking out because I was kind of obsessed with TF2 back then. Also, the chickens when they got killed would even come back out of the ground as zombie chickens. This update was so cool, and hopefully some of you got to experience it. The next spooky update was in 2016, which just gave the chickens some cute little pumpkin masks. One of the coolest Halloween updates, which I sadly didn't get to experience, was in 2018. This one made it where if you were killed in a casual game, you'd spawn back as a ghost. And you even had this little weird spectral knife that's still in the game. I did find some clips online that shows ghosts picking up Zeus's on the ground, and you could actually get Zeus kills as a ghost. This update also spookified Cobblestone, and some of these changes included making the map at night, adding this big bonfire, and just normal Halloween things like gravestones and coffins. Over in the hay area though, there were some poor little chickens hanging up here. The final Halloween update Valve ever did was in 2022 to the Danger Zone map Ember. Also, big thanks to the actual map creator of Ember for providing me with this old Halloween version of the map. This Halloween version just made the lava around the map this bright green color, added this spooky sky and moon, some jack-o'-lanterns around the map, and some other typical Halloween stuff. Fun fact, the map was actually supposed to have blood-colored water, but Valve had to have it changed to green for the perfect world version of the game. Now, the Christmas updates sadly aren't as cool as the Halloween updates, but they were still fun. The first Christmas update was all the way back in 2013 with the Winter Offensive update. The chickens would either have Santa hats on or antlers attached to their head, but that was about it. In 2015, the chickens were given these cute little Christmas sweaters, and in 2016, the chickens were once again given these Christmas sweaters, but with different colors this time. There's also a 2018 Christmas update that did quite a bit. This update covered the map Militia in a nice layer of snow, and added some snowballs you could pick up in the spawns for some fun snowball fights. These snowballs would only do 5 damage each, so it would be a long snowball fight. The C4 during this update was also nicely wrapped as a gift to the CTs. Thankfully, we will most likely be seeing a Christmas or winter update this year for Counter-Strike 2, because there was a leaked snowy version of Cobblestone in the game files. The next holiday updates are the Easter ones. The 2016 Easter update gave the chickens little bunny ears and had them hopping around like bunnies. You could even say that they were bunny hopping. The next Easter update was in 2017, which did the same thing to the chickens, but when they got scared this time, they would drop eggs. The rest of the holiday updates are mainly just CSGO birthday updates, which they've done on and off since 2014. These updates were pretty small, and the chickens would only really be given these cute little party hats. Look how cute they are. And they'd also burst into confetti when shot. There's also a party mode command that you can still do in CSGO. As far as I know, this really just gives the Zeus's confetti. Hopefully CS2 will bring more updates like this, even if it is just for a little while like CSGO did. I feel like Valve was definitely more involved with random silly stuff like this in the earlier days of CSGO. Holiday updates weren't the only times that Valve would update or change the maps though. During the 20th anniversary of Counter-Strike in 2019, Valve introduced a special version of Dust 2. It was basically just Dust 2 from CS 1.6, and sadly I didn't get to play this one. This retro Dust was only playable in casual, and on every other round the map would switch from modern Dust 2 to the retro Dust 2. Although the map was the same, apparently it was missing these stacks of crates and CT spawn, as well as some graffiti. Let's talk about some other weird updates that came and went. Halftime voice chat. This one thankfully isn't forgotten, but like come on, I had to talk about it. In case you didn't know, you used to be able to talk to the other team during the halftime team switch thing. I doubt they'll ever bring this back because of the things that were said during it, but it's still pretty cool that it was even in the game to begin with. You'd also be able to talk to the enemy team at the end of the game as well, which I kind of miss. Another weird update was in 2013. Valve added gift packages. Basically, whenever you used a gift package, it would give a random player in the match a random item. I don't know the exact specifics of the gift items, but I assume they were just items in the current drop pool. There were also pallets of presents, which were basically just gift packages, but when used, it would give it up to 9 people instead of just 1. There's also a more useless one called an audience participation parcel, which would give items up to 25 viewers watching the match. I don't know whenever the hell you'll have 25 viewers watching your match. Funnily enough, these gift packages are still being sold on the Steam market for about $7-ish. Imagine paying $7 just to give a 10-cent skin to a random person. They are pretty cool collector's items though. The audience participation parcel is currently selling for around $50 on the Steam marketplace, which is absolutely insane to me. And if you thought that one was crazy, I want you to see if you can guess how much the palette of presents goes for. The palette of presents is currently selling for around $140 on the Steam marketplace. I have no clue what to say about that one. A definite forgotten update are the old gun sounds. Man, the old CSGO gun sounds are so nostalgic, but I think everyone has really forgotten what they sound like at this point. Obviously, for a game that came out in 2012, most of the sounds were going to sound out of date or just a bit shit over time. So eventually with some time, Valve changed all of them. Here's what some of them sounded like in comparison with the gun sounds now. Now surprisingly, most of the gun sounds in CS2 are the same as they are in CSGO, but they actually did change some of them, so I'll show them here. I'm assuming they'll end up changing the gun sounds like they did here eventually. Let's move on to another forgotten feature. Do you guys remember these little achievements that would be displayed on your player profile? Basically how these worked is there were 5 categories for achievements: team tactics, combat skills, weapon specialist, global expertise, and arms race and demolition. Each category consisted of their respective Steam achievements. For example, the team tactics category would be achievements like donating 100 weapons to your teammates, or winning a round without making any footstep noise and killing at least one enemy. There's no way 17% of people had that achievement. Anyways, for each of these categories there were 3 different badges. Let's use team tactics for example again. If you got 12 of these achievements in this category, you'd get bronze, 24 is silver, and 36 is gold. This would of course be the same for other categories, but the amount of achievements changes for each category. I think you get the premise. Basically, the reason Valve removed this feature was because a ton of people were achievement cheating. If you didn't know, back in the day, achievement cheating was insanely easy to do. Now that one kind of made sense to remove, but another one that made 0 sense to remove was the personal statistics page. I remember when you could see all your statistics like your favorite weapon, rounds played, rounds won, your kills, and etc. without having to pay for 360 stats. Obviously they changed this to give you a reason to buy 360, but I think it's really dumb and I am not buying that shit. A very small update was when the chicken model got an upgrade. Some of you may remember when the chicken model used to look like this. But before this old chicken, there was also the original Counter-Strike chicken. These chickens look really goofy, but I actually kind of like them. The last update of this video is one I think quite a bit of people forgot about. So back in the day, whenever you'd accept a competitive match, you'd hear, "Let's roll." But for whatever reason, sometimes your game would lag and instead say, "Let's roll." Now, most likely this sound would be because of your actual computer lagging instead of the game glitching, but you have to remember most computers back at the time were complete ass, so most people would experience this. Nevertheless, this small thing became somewhat of a meme back in the earlier days. It even got turned into a sticker and put into the game. Well, that's about all the updates I could edit into a video before I feel like CS2 will come out. Even if CS2 comes out when I put this video out, or even in the future, I think it'll be a bit nostalgic to watch. Anyways, I want to thank all my YouTube members for helping support me, and like always, make sure to subscribe and like the video, and if you don't like it, go and leave a comment why, and I'll try to do better next time.